Georgia played. Woo!
Watching James and Makama argue is like peak entertainment. It's like arguing over who's the tallest midget. Those two fucking deadbeats there. It's like, I'm 9. Oh yeah? Well, I'm 8. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Everybody okay? Everybody hanging in there? Let's turn that off. Happy Saturday. Week 11. Week 11. Underway. We had some games this week. Nothing great, really. Iowa and UCLA played last night? Wow. The cure for insomnia there. What an amazing game that was. Anyway, how's everybody doing? Welcome to the Kickoff Show. We do this every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. You know the routine. We're going to go through the schedule of games today, figure out what we need to watch, when we need to watch it, what channel we need to watch it on. So we'll take a look at that. How about some best bets? Can we figure out a way to make some money today betting on these college football games? We're going to try. We're definitely going to try. I've got a few that I'm willing to throw money away on. We'll see how it works out. I did not do good last Saturday. Luckily, the NFL saved me on Sunday, but I had a bad Saturday last week with the Payloo. The gambling in that. So we got to make it up today. We got to find some winners. We're going to talk about what we're going to eat today, which, of course, is my second favorite part. Well, maybe third favorite part of college football Saturday. My favorite part is watching the games, obviously. My second favorite part is pointing and laughing and making fun of all the shitbag teams that can't win. My third favorite part, though, is the food. So we're going to talk about some game day food today. What are we eating today? What are we snacking on? What else? The rigged wheel. We had a winner last week, didn't we? Is Jay Shipes in here? I think, wasn't Jay Shipes, well, I can't find it now, can I? Yeah, Jay Shipes had Kentucky plus the points last week against Tennessee. And Tennessee was unable to cover. So Jay Shipes, congratulations, buddy. You won the rigged wheel last week. Shout out Jay Shipes, who I believe is live on location this week at Drunker Billy Slaw's house. Drunker Silly Slaw or Huffer Billy Paw or whatever it is his name is. Why are people getting timed out? What is this? Miami will lose to Georgia Tech. Miami will lose to Georgia Tech. Miami will lose to Georgia Tech. Yeah, just type it one time and you shouldn't have a problem. If you type something one time, there, let me give you some advice here for the typer trolls. If you type something one time and nobody responds to it, it's because whatever you typed is fucking uninteresting as shit. And nobody wants to be bothered to even do this for 5 seconds to reply to you. So typing it over and over and over again isn't going to make it more interesting. So just type it once. If anybody gives a fuck, they'll reply or respond or get triggered or get mad or whatever it is. If they ignore it or don't reply or don't respond, it's just because it's uninteresting as shit and no one cares. So typing it over and over again just clogs up the feed and prevents people from seeing other things that might actually be of note. Yeah. All right, so schedule of games, best bets, game day food, rigged wheel. Cash App and PayPal links are in the description of the video if you want to get your name on the rigged wheel and try to win some money today. I know all of y'all have never got a game wrong because I see it. I see your comments every Sunday telling me that you got every game right the day before, which is amazing. So why not get yourself on the rigged wheel and put that knowledge to use? Win yourself some money. Win yourself some money. Any Cash App, any PayPal, get your name on the rigged wheel today. We'll spin the wheel at the end of the show. If it picks your name, you can make a pick today against the spread on any game you want. If you hit, I'll send you back twice your money. It's that easy. It's that easy. Literally anybody can do it. It's got to be Cash App or PayPal, though. I can't do giveaways with the super chat. And I finally hit a PrizePicks play last week. I had some luck early in the season on PrizePicks, and then I hit a cold streak. I'll have to look in a few minutes and see. I can't remember what it was I hit last week. I think it was a three-player play. I think it was like $20 won me 100 or 25 won me 100, something. I'll see if I can look and find it in a second. But shout out to prizepicks.com for sponsoring the kickoff show today. Check them out, prizepicks.com, promo code Uncle Lou. Make any $5 play over on prizepicks.com and they will give you $50. Whether you win or lose, that $5 play is irrelevant to the good people over at PrizePicks. Make your first $5 play using promo code Uncle Lou, and they'll give you $50. It's that easy. Some low-level troll at the start of the show asked about Carstoni and Beckworth. No results found. How in the hell? What are we doing? Oh, no wonder. College basketball. Of course, I don't care about college basketball. Somebody told me this morning that as of today, Alabama fans don't care about basketball either. Does anybody know anything about that? Is that true? Is that true? Do they even have interceptions on here? I know they always have touchdowns. They should put Carson Beck interceptions on here. Pass downs, passed it. There you go. Carson Beck. More than 1.5 interceptions today. Of course, he's averaging 3 a game over the last, 3 or 4 games or whatever it is. So if you're feeling froggy, go ahead and take Carson Beck over 1.5 interceptions. Or play it on the safe side, over half of an interception. So will he just have 1? Will he even have 1? Try your luck. PrizePicks.com. How's everybody doing? Do we need to take roll? We better take roll. Make sure everybody's here. Let's see who is here. Hello, ladies is here. Curtis Maximus, Jonathan Miller, Ace, K-Dog, Drunker Silly Slaw, Mag, Moose Paka. The Auburn flight. Yeah, that was the basketball team too, wasn't it? The Auburn basketball team was on a plane to whatever game they had, and the players got in a fight with each other on the plane, and they had to turn the plane around and go back to Auburn. What is going on with basketball in the state of Alabama? Holy shit. Auburn fans and Bama fans pretend to be basketball fans because their teams haven't won shit in years. I don't know. I don't get it. Jarvis, Pastor Dave, Hawkeye, Naughty Parrot, UGA Homer, Orange Visor, Ace, Jonathan Miller, Captain Trips, Gumpman 72. There's Jay Shipes. Jay Shipes was the winner last week on the rigged wheel. My team made it to the Final Four, Lou. Imagine bragging about losing. Georgia's made a Final Four in basketball, too. There's no way I would sit around and talk about that. There's no way I would sit around and talk about that because I don't care about basketball. I don't even pretend to like you do. Don't have to. Don't need to. Don't want to, too. Yay, boo, yay, boo. That's a slick wrist piece, Uncle Lou. Oh, yeah, G-Shock. You got to have a G-Shock. You got to have a G-Shock. I was proud of my Tide for making the Final Four. Yeah, I thought they tried real hard last year. I was awful proud of them. Yeah, I was extremely proud of them. All right, let's look at the schedule of games. I could sit here and just troll the comments all day long, but we got business to attend to. So let's take care of that. Yep, shout out to New Mexico for beating San Diego State last night. San Diego State was the favorite in that game. Uncle Lou hit a parlay. Yep, I took New Mexico and the under. The under in this game was 63. 21 plus 16 is a lot less than 63, and New Mexico won the game. So shout out to Uncle Lou and New Mexico for helping me to win a parlay yesterday. We needed that. So we're off to a good start. All right, here's the games coming up today. Purdue on the road at Ohio State. Ohio State, one of the best teams in the country. Purdue, one of the worst, which is why Ohio State is favored by 38. Holy shit. Ohio State is favored by 38 at home against Purdue. Ohio State will roll. Purdue is terrible. That game comes on at big noon kickoff. Wow, this is the best the Big Ten has to offer, folks. Purdue and Ohio State. Wow. Fox is the literal definition of paying more for less, isn't it? They're getting absolutely drubbed in the ratings every single week. Fox is, as is CBS. And everybody's favorite international company, Disney, is laughing all the way to the bank. Disney has the SEC for way less than what Fox is paying for the Big Ten. And it turns out no one's watching the Big Ten. They're all watching the SEC. Check the ratings. Miami on the road at Georgia Tech. This is an odd line to me, which sometimes means like flashing red lights, like what's going on here. Miami's only favored by 10. Georgia Tech has fallen off over the last month or so. Of course, Haynes King got injured at quarterback, and kind of everything they do offensively sort of runs through him. Some teams are more quarterback-centric than others, and without Haynes King, Georgia Tech has really stumbled. I don't know if he's playing today or not, but it's getting to the point with Miami to where something to consider every week with Miami is to take their opponent in the first half and then take Miami in the second half. You can bet first line spreads or first half spreads versus entire game. So Miami's favored by 10 for the game. which means they're probably favored by about a touchdown in the first half. Maybe you take Georgia Tech to keep it close in the first half because Miami likes to play around with their opponents until the end of the third quarter, start of the fourth quarter. But I do like Miami -10 for the full game here. And the other thing to keep in mind is that it's pretty obvious at this point that Miami is actively trying to get Cam Ward to win the Heisman. And not even saying that's a bad thing, but he puts up just video game numbers in the second half every single week. Georgia Tech has no home field advantage. I like Miami -10 there. Florida on the road at Texas. Any word on DJ Lagway? Let us know in the comments. I don't think he will play. Just my own opinion. And if he does, it won't matter. Texas will win this game. Now, they're favored by 22. It seems like Texas has been flying under the radar a little bit the last few weeks. They had the loss to Georgia, then a close win at Vandy, and then I believe they were off last week. So it's not a lot of people have been talking about them lately. I still think they're a pretty good team, though. They shouldn't have any problem at home with Florida. 22 is a lot of points, though. 22 is a lot of points. Minnesota at Rutgers. Minnesota favored by 6. Syracuse at Boston College. Boston College, a small home favorite there. West Virginia at Cincinnati. Cincinnati favored by 4. That might be a good game in that it might be close. Not a lot of interest in those two teams right now, but that might be a good game. So I'll be on at noon for all of these games right here on YouTube. That's the streaming schedule today. Noon on YouTube, 7:30 on Patreon. In fact, I think I mentioned this on the call-in show, but let me just go ahead and mention it again. Both of my kids have homecoming dance today to go to. And there's a picture, a group picture thing that they're doing at 5 o'clock, which sucks timing-wise. The Georgia-Ole Miss game is at 3:30. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stream the noon games on YouTube. We'll shut that stream down around 3:15 when the noon games end. I will watch some of the first half, most of the first half of the Georgia-Ole Miss game, and then I have to go run some errands, do some running around for my kids' homecoming thing with the pictures in that, which is around 5 or 5:30. As soon as I get back from that, I will start the Patreon stream. So hopefully that's in time to watch like the fourth quarter of the Georgia-Ole Miss game, all the 3:30 games. I don't know exactly how long it's going to take me once I leave here at 4:30 to do all that running around. But homecoming only comes once a year. My daughter's a senior. It's a big deal to her. They got a whole thing going on with a bunch of their friends and stuff, and they're getting together at this place and doing pictures and all. So I don't want to miss that. So as soon as I get back from doing that, I will fire up the Patreon stream, and hopefully it'll be in time to watch the end of the 3:30 games, including the Georgia-Ole Miss game and everything else that comes on at 3:30. And then we'll stream the primetime game. We'll just go through the end of the primetime games, which, of course, you got LSU hosting Bama and a few others. So that's the streaming schedule today. Noon right here on YouTube. We'll watch all the noon games. I'll definitely be here through all the noon games, so we can hang out right here on this channel at noon and watch all the early games. And then as far as the primetime stream goes, I know I'll be back before 7:30 to start the primetime stream, but I'm hoping to get back in time to start the primetime stream to see the end of the Georgia-Ole Miss game. So those of you that are members on the Patreon page, I will post the link as soon as I get back from running those errands, and we'll go live and hang out tonight and watch football. So there you go. Link to the Patreon page is in the description. If you're not already on the Patreon page, I'm not sure what possibly could be wrong with you, but you're really missing out. We have a good time over there. So that's the plan. All right, back to the schedule of games. See what's going on here. I think we made it up through the noon games, didn't we? Yeah, West Virginia and Cincinnati. A couple of games at like 1 and 2. Nothing really good ever comes on at those odd times there. Georgia and Ole Miss, of course, at 3:30. Down to a 1.5-point line on this one. So it looks like money coming in on Ole Miss. The line opened up around 2.5 or 3. It's down to 1.5 right now. I can't pick Georgia to lose against anybody not named Bama. I mentioned it in the video yesterday. You can break this game down to your blue in the face. It won't change my mind one bit. It's been over 4 calendar years since anybody not named Alabama beat Georgia. November 7th, I believe. November 7th, 2020 was the last time anybody beat Georgia that wasn't named Alabama. So I just can't pick Georgia to lose until somebody beats them. Could Georgia lose? Yes, they could. Just like they could have lost to Texas. There's a lot of games they could have lost. I just can't pick them to lose. Now, if Carson Beck shows up with the interception routine again today, then all bets are off, and Georgia could very well lose this game because here's the problem. Georgia's defense played amazing against Texas. And obviously, I hope that defense shows up today, just like I hope that defense shows up every week. But under normal conditions, if you go on the road at Texas and turn the ball over 3 times like Carson Beck did, you're not winning that game. Luckily for Georgia, the defense played their best game of the season that day, and the turnovers ended up not really mattering, right? Last week against Florida, similar story. Florida's a fucking disaster. They're a terrible team. They're a terrible program. Their coaching staff is terrible, and they don't have a whole lot of talent. So you can turn the ball over 2 or 3 times in a game like that and still win because your opponent is terrible. This Ole Miss game is more like the Texas game. Under normal conditions, if Georgia goes in here today and turns the ball over 3 times, they will lose. Unless the defense has some sort of amazing out-of-the-blue performance like they did against Texas. I would rather not have to rely on that. I would rather Georgia just not turn the ball over. You give Ole Miss an extra 3 or 4 possessions, they're going to do to Georgia the same thing Alabama did in the first half of the Georgia-Alabama game, which is score every single time you give them the ball. That's what will happen. You turn the ball over on your own 30-yard line and give Ole Miss a short field, they're fixing to put 7 points on the board. That's all there is to it. They're not Florida. They know what they're doing. Ole Miss just about leads the country and does lead the SEC in explosive plays. Georgia defensively near the top in the country and at the top of the SEC defensively in preventing explosive plays. So that'll be something to keep an eye on today. Outside of the Arkansas game last week for Ole Miss, they have not scored over 30 points against any SEC opponent this year. Now, they scored 63 against Arkansas. But prior to that, they had not scored over 30 points against any SEC opponents, and Arkansas's defense is non-existent. I think if Georgia can get into the 30s, they'll win the game. So that's my thoughts on that. Michigan at Indiana. I don't have any reason to pick Michigan to cover here. They're not any good, and Indiana's on an absolute roll. But for some reason, I woke up this morning and I just had a weird feeling about this game. Now, I don't think Indiana will lose. So let me just get that out of the way now. Could they? Of course they could, in the same way that technically anybody can lose. But I had intended to bet Indiana this week. And for whatever reason, today I've got a funny feeling about this game. So and it's right now it's 14. Maybe if it was at 13 or 13 and a half, but I am probably going to stay away from betting this game, or I might take the under 48 and a half. I know that's a low number, but anyway, like I said, I can't give you any reason or explanation. Just one of those feelings. Indiana's looked really good. Y'all know I've been hyping up Indiana for a month. I think they're a really good team, and I think they'll win today. But for some reason, I just have a weird feeling about this game. Iowa State on the road at Kansas. This is another weird one. Iowa State was undefeated until last week. They lost on literally the last 30 seconds of the game. That was their first loss. Kansas is an absolute disaster. I think they have 2 wins. I mean, they're bad. And Iowa State's only favored by 2.5. Again, it seems like a trap. Why would you not take Iowa State at only minus 2.5 against a terrible Kansas team? I might fall for that trap. I think I'm going to take Iowa State. I don't know what in the world. 2.5. Did Iowa State have a plane crash? Clemson at Virginia Tech. This is another one that I know Clemson lost last week and didn't look great, and the sky is falling in Tatertown. Clemson's winning this game by more than 6.5, I think. I was wrong about Virginia Tech. I mean, they're not terrible, but they're nowhere near as good as I thought they would be this year. And I know they got a quarterback that can run around, and he's supposed to play today. He didn't play last week, I don't think, or either he got hurt or something. But anyway, he is supposed to play this week, Kyron Jones. And Clemson's defense, it's not as good as it's been in years past, but I don't. Clemson should win this game by a couple of scores. They're technically still alive for the playoffs. Now, I don't think they're going to get in, but they're not really eliminated with 2 losses. So they should have motivation to show up and play today. I like Clemson there. I like Clemson in that one. Army has North Texas. Looking forward to their game with Notre Dame coming up soon. They're a 5.5-point favorite on the road in that one. Duke at NC State. NC State favored in this one by 3. NC State, another disappointing team. Started the season ranked, but turns out they have a hard time winning the game. Colorado at Texas Tech. Colorado, a 4.5-point road favorite. Colorado's got to win this one. BYU is still undefeated in the Big 12. Iowa State has just 1 loss, as does Colorado have just 1 loss. Can't afford to lose this one on the road at Texas Tech. Texas Tech had a good win last week. They're not a bad team. I think they're 6-3. Colorado only favored by 4.5. What do y'all think about that one? Maybe Colorado goes down today? Don't know. So I'm asking you. South Carolina at Vandy. Who had this on their bingo card in August as one of the best games of the week in Week 11? Huh? 2 of the most surprisingly good teams in the SEC, South Carolina and Vandy. South Carolina's favored by 6.5. I think South Carolina wins and covers. I think Vandy is good, but I think they're more of a good story. I think it's more that they're just, I mean, look, Auburn is terrible. It's a good win for Vandy, but Auburn is terrible. Outside of the Alabama win, they don't have, I mean, and that's a good win. But I like South Carolina there. Feels bad picking against Vandy. I'm not hating on Vandy, but Lord knows I do hate South Carolina. Fuck South Carolina. Can't stand them. But I do think they beat Vandy. Am I wrong? Maybe. Been wrong before. If you've been around for a while, you might remember this, but back in 2019, I picked Georgia to beat South Carolina at home in Athens. And they didn't do it. Georgia lost. Juke Froome had 4 turnovers, and Hot Rod couldn't hit a field goal to save his life. Georgia gave up 1 touchdown and lost. Shout out Juke Froome. Oregon hosts Maryland. They're favored by 23. Oregon should remain undefeated. Mississippi State on the road at Tennessee. A lot of points expected in this one, over under 62.5. Tennessee favored, though, by 24.5. Huge favorite at home, Tennessee is. Tennessee has the big game against Georgia next week on the road in Athens. If Georgia and Tennessee can both win today, that'll probably be the game day game next week. Tennessee at Georgia. Central Florida at Arizona State. Arizona State favored by 2.5. I like Arizona State to win and cover. They're sneaky good. Sneaky good, Arizona State is. Oklahoma State at TCU. Oklahoma State, sneaky bad. Not only that, turns out their head coach, Gundy, hates his own fans. Man, you hate to see that. Basically told him to shut the hell up. Look at this. Florida State at Notre Dame, and Notre Dame's favored by 24.5. Oh, man. Nobody likes Notre Dame. But they like Florida State less. So it wouldn't hurt my feelings, honestly, to see Notre Dame win this thing by 40. which, of course, would be extremely alarming, but not surprising, because Florida State's one of the worst Power 4 teams we've seen in about a decade. They're absolutely horrific. This one season at Florida State is likely to set them back 5 years. Dang. Dang, dang, dang. I like Notre Dame big in that one. Alabama on the road at LSU, probably the game of the day here, and this is an elimination game, period. The loser of this game's done for. They can hang it up. No SEC championship game, no playoffs, in my opinion. So this is basically a playoff game. Who do you trust more? Milroe or Nussmeier? Who do you trust more, DeBoer or Brian Kelly? Alabama's got a discipline problem and a penalty problem, and those things tend to show up a lot more on the road. Alabama head coach Malachi Moore needs to have a big game, both playing and coaching today. I don't trust Brian Kelly as far as I can throw him, but Alabama's been up and down. Home field advantage for LSU at night. I'm not betting $1 on this game, but I'm going with the home team, LSU. If it was in Bama, I'd pick Bama. It's going to be a good one. LSU can't run the ball, so they're going to have to light that secondary up if they want to win the game. See if they can protect Nussmeier, keep him on his feet, because they can't run the ball to save their life. Alabama, the last time we saw them, ran it down Missouri's throat. Will they do that on the road here? That would be my plan. If I was Kalen DeBoer, that would 100% be my plan. Line up and run the ball until they prove to me they can stop it. Jam Miller, Justice Haynes, a quarterback runs with mildew, whatever you got to do. That's what I would do if I was Bama. Make LSU show me you can stop the run. Oklahoma on the road at Missouri. I think this is an interesting game to these two teams and their fans. Old Big 8 and then Big 12 matchup from back in the day. Unfortunately, Oklahoma has just been sucking hind tent all year. They're terrible. No offensive line. 19 wide receivers are hurt. Quarterback hokey pokey. Brent Venables in over his head as a head coach. Administration second-guessing their move to the SEC. Missouri, on the other hand, quarterback issues in terms of Brady Cook being hurt. They've been disappointing, too. Started the season out ranked in the top 10, didn't they? Top 15 at least. Blowed out by Alabama. It is a home game for Missouri, but I don't know how much that means. Unless you're the only person I know of that thinks Missouri has some type of big home field advantage is Dean Legge. And he thinks everybody has a huge home field advantage. So, shout out Dean Legge. Dean Legge also got tricked by the Ole Miss injury report. Come on, Dean. Come on, buddy. What are you doing, man?
Come on, man!
Have y'all seen the Ole Miss injury report? There's like 30 players on it. Lane Kiffin playing games. Lane Kiffin playing games. I think this is going to be an interesting game here. I'm worried about Penn State today. Washington on the road at Penn State. Now, this is the whiteout game, so even though they lost last week, I'm assuming the crowd will be into this one at Penn State, and they might need it. They might need it. This could be a potential upset today. I know Penn State's favored by 13, but another demoralizing loss last week to Ohio State where they struggled to get first downs. No offensive touchdowns. Washington's not great, but they're not terrible. And if Penn State ain't ready to go today, they could be in trouble. Nevada on the road at Boise State. Boise State, of course, trying to stay alive for that playoff spot. Looks like it's kind of down to them and Army at this point. It's possible some other team could sneak in if neither Boise State or Army wins their conference championship game, but it looks like right now Boise State or Army, right, into the playoffs. Albert Gent-Smith, running back for Boise State, should have another big game today. Virginia on the road at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh favored by just over a touchdown. Pitt took their first loss of the season last week on the road against my SMU Mustangs. I didn't get a lot right, but I've been right about SMU so far. SMU versus Miami in the ACC championship game in Charlotte. Who's going to that one? Who's going to that? I don't know. I don't know who's going. The Holy War. Wow. The Holy War. BYU undefeated. Is there anything Utah can do about that? No, I don't think there is. I don't know why BYU is only favored by 3. Utah's like the team that time forgot. You know, Cameron Rising's out again. Inevitable. You know, this guy, milk carton, permanent milk carton. Guess he's coming back next year for his 9th year. Don't know. But Utah is just a massive disappointment. People keep doubting BYU, and they keep winning over and over again. And I'm in that. I'm including myself. But I'm not doubting them this week. Usually when it comes to holy wars, I just want everyone to die. I don't want that here because this is a football game that's just called the Holy War. But like for real holy wars, I'm just hoping for like mutually assured destruction when it comes to these religious wars. But I don't know. Is anybody picking Utah on that one? And then the late game tonight, Washington State at home against Utah State. Washington State, do they still have just the one loss? Yeah, 7-1. Their only loss is to a potential playoff team, Boise State. But see, this is the problem. Washington State got left out in the cold, so it's the whole who had they played deal. You know, what's their best win? Texas Tech? Come on, man. I mean, it's not their fault. They got kicked out of they didn't get kicked out of a conference. They got left in a conference that didn't have any teams in it. So they had to put together whatever kind of schedule they could, which included juggernauts like Portland State, Fresno State, Hawaii, San Diego State, Utah State, and New Mexico. I mean, they do play Oregon State. They did lose to Boise State. They beat Washington, and they beat Texas Tech. I mean, they got a handful of Power 4 wins, but you just feel bad for them, don't you? I mean, I do. And I hardly feel bad for anybody ever. All right, let's rank the games. So, Alabama, LSU, I guess considered the game of the day. Georgia, Ole Miss, I think, would have to be up there on the list. I think Florida at Texas is interesting. I don't know that it'll end up being a good game, but I do think that's an interesting game. Miami at Georgia Tech, I think, is interesting. Michigan at Indiana, keep an eye on that one. Keep an eye on that one, Indiana, man. Iowa State trying to stay alive in the Big 12. Clemson looking to rebound against Virginia Tech. I've heard some people talking down about the slate of games this week. I think there's there's a lot of games with playoff implications thanks to the 12-team playoff. You know, Alabama, LSU. Ole Miss is sitting on 2 losses. If they lose, their season's over. Oklahoma at Missouri, old rivalry game. Penn State trying to rebound against Washington. I mean, I think there's a pretty good slate of games today. I think it's a pretty good slate of games. Am I totally off the mark there? Maybe. I've been off the mark before. Biggs Mike, thank you for the super chat, buddy. He says, Pay Lou, Pay Mike is going to hit today. Hashtag Mikey Likey. I certainly hope so, man. I certainly hope so. We need a winning day today. Nick Koenig, thank you for the super chat. He says, hey, Uncle Lou, good morning. It's been a while. I was out of the country working and glad to be back. Go Bucks and hope you're doing good. Good games today. I agree with Nick. Good games today. I think there's good games today. Glad you made it back stateside, Nat. Safe and sound in 2. Creature, thank you for the super chat. He says, what undefeated team loses today? Well, BYU is a small favorite. Who else? Indiana's a 2-touchdown favorite against Michigan. I can't see Oregon losing at home to Maryland. I can't see that happening. So maybe BYU on the road in a rivalry game against Utah. It's hard to predict that, but maybe. So who else do we have? Oregon, BYU, Indiana, Miami on the road at Georgia Tech. I don't know, man. I don't know. What do y'all think? Army? Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. How high will Bama be ranked after they beat LSU? I don't know. 8 or 9? 8 or 9 if they win. Same with LSU. Whoever wins probably be somewhere in the 8 to 9 range. You lost to the worst Bama team in a decade. Yeah, Bama can put that on their Outback Bowl trophy. But we beat UGA. Alabama Outback Bowl champions 2024. Hashtag, but we beat UGA. That's what Bama plays for. Bama plays to beat Georgia. Georgia plays to get to the playoffs. Learn the difference. What did Dean say about the Ole Miss injury report? Well, he just read off the injury report like it was real. He couldn't believe how many players were hurt for. He couldn't believe how many players were hurt and injured for Ole Miss. He couldn't believe it. It's because they're not hurt. Yeah, it's because they're not hurt. Vandy hasn't beat Bama in 40 years. Know how embarrassing that is. Dean also thinks that teams get healthier as the season goes along. Shrimp and grits. I could eat some shrimp and grits. You know what we're doing? It's kind of cool and rainy here today. It's not cold. I think the high of like 70 today, but it's rainy and cloudy and has been all week. We're doing a crock pot roast today, like a pork roast, you know, with the onions and carrots and red potatoes, and that's what we're doing today. That's what we're doing today. I'll probably have sandwiches or something for lunch, or maybe like you know what I might have for lunch is a French bread pizza. I love French bread. I can't be doing that. Stouffer's French bread pizza. Oh my God, so good. Especially if you cook it for like 2 minutes longer than it tells you to, and you get it really crispy. Oh, that French bread pizza. I might have that for lunch. But then we're doing the crock pot roast today, so it'll cook all day, and by the time I get back from running those errands this afternoon for my kids' homecoming dance, that roast should be ready. So that's what we're doing today for the food. What are y'all doing? There's got to be somebody. Look, I'm not going to pretend that's the greatest game day thing ever, but this type of weather, a crock pot roast does sound good. So I'm happy with it today, but chances are somebody out there is doing something better. Sloppy Joe's. I think I might be the only one here that likes Sloppy Joe's. I don't think the rest of them eat it. But I love Sloppy Joe's, though. Yeah, I love Sloppy Joe's and French fries. Yeah. Wingstop? Yeah, you can't go wrong with wings. Stouffer's is nasty. What, just everything that they make, you mean? Stouffer's is a brand. You just mean everything they make is nasty? I love Stouffer's French bread pizza. I think it's really good. Bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches. Oh, that's a great breakfast there. I had a bacon, egg, and cheese for dinner the other night. We went to Waffle House for dinner on Wednesday. I think, was it Wednesday? I think it was Wednesday night. We went to Waffle House for dinner. It was really, that's what I had. Bacon, egg, and cheese with hash browns. New York bagel, bacon, egg, and cheese. I love bagels. We have bagels. We keep bagels in the house. I just do regular bagels with cream cheese, though. When I eat a bagel, the only thing I want on it is cream cheese. That's it. I don't put nothing else on a bagel, ever. If I want bacon, egg, and cheese, I'll get a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit. Ribeyes, baked potato, and jalapeno poppers. Damn, man. Now that's a winner. We had baked potatoes last night. We had chicken, baked potatoes, and green beans last night for dinner, but I love a baked potato. And ribeye is my favorite steak. I know some people like fillets or whatever else, but ribeye is my favorite cut of meat. Making you hungry. Hey, yeah, don't come. You can't watch this kickoff show if you're hungry, because we talk about food every Saturday morning here on the kickoff. That's my favorite part of the show. By the time I do this show every Saturday morning, I usually already know what I'm eating, but then I always ask y'all what y'all are eating, and it gives me ideas for the next week or the week after or whatever. So this is one of my favorite parts of the Saturday morning show every week, is the food part. Pedro, thank you for the super chat. He says, Lou, can you please do another comment on the comment video? A lot of dumb things have been said by Florida and Tennessee fans in the last month. Yeah, those are fun to do. They're extremely time consuming, though, because I get 1,000 comments a day. I don't know the number. It's a shitload of comments every day. So to sit down and do a comment on the comments video requires a lot of time to scroll through thousands and thousands of comments just to maybe find 10 that I can use for a video, which is why I tend to do those in the off season when I have more free time. But those are fun videos to do. Those are fun videos to do. All right, we got to talk about some best bets. Before we do, though, I always listen to my buddies over at PB Betting. Check them out on Twitter, PB_betting. They do a weekly gambling podcast. They break down 10 or 15 games a week that they bet on. And I've told you all about them before, but what I like about them is they tell you the wins and losses. They don't come on and brag about the games they got right and then pretend they didn't get any wrong. They're regular, normal people. Well, as normal as we are, college football and gambling degenerates. But they tell you what their record is. 9-6-1 last week. That's a winning. That's making money. And 1-0 on his lock of the week. His partner 6-6, 0-for-1 on his lock. They keep up with it, and they tell you every single week. See? So here's what they had last week. But check them out. Per usual, I don't ever recommend just blindly following anyone's advice when it comes to betting, but if you're going to be betting on the games, it is a good idea to listen to 2 or 3 shows a week or podcasts or breakdowns of games or whatever, and then try to form your own opinion or conclusion based off of the things that you've heard, and these people do a good job of that. So check them out, PB_betting on Twitter. They have a YouTube channel and a podcast, and you can find links to all of that over on their Twitter page. PB_betting. There you go. There you go. Make yourself some money. Florida money line looks tempting. Well, yeah. First of all, I seriously doubt you've ever bet $1 on a game. That's number one. Number two, there's a 0 chance you're putting any money on Florida money line. None. Lagway to be limited. He's been pretty limited all year. Georgia limited him to 2 for 6 passing. 2 for 6. Yeah. 2 for 6. That's right. Shout out to DJ Lagway. Shout out to DJ Lagway. Lou, any touchdown prop bets today? Let's look. Y'all got to help me on this. Y'all helped me last week and we won. So I don't know about specifically touchdown prop bets, but over on PrizePicks, you can make picks on the number of touchdowns. Let's look at the LSU and Bama game. LSU cannot run the ball, and there's people that still claim Alabama's secondary is a weakness. If that's the case, and you think LSU has a chance to win this game at home, it might be worth trying to find some kind of play on Garrett Nussmeier. Over 1.5 pass touchdowns seems reasonable. Well, I can tell you this. If Nussmeier doesn't have over 1.5 touchdown passes, then LSU lost bad. Maybe you take that one. Another wagon in most games this year. Travis Hunter. Over 79.5 receiving yards. I mean, if you're really feeling crazy, over 124.5. I don't know about that. Will he score a touchdown? More or less than 7 receptions? I think he goes over 105 today. Travis Hunter. I think he goes over 105 receiving yards today. Let's go with that. So we got Garrett Nussmeier over 1.5 pass touchdowns. Travis Hunter more than 105.5 receiving yards. I think Cam Ward can have a big day, but his numbers are probably going to be sky high here. Yeah, look at this. Over 299.5 passing yards. Over 3.5 passing touchdowns. I mean, they're trying to win. They're trying to get him to Heisman. Even if Miami is up 2 or 3 touchdowns in the second half, they're still going to be throwing the ball. Should we get greedy? Should we get greedy and go over 3.5, or should we play it safe and go over 2.5 passing touchdowns for Cam Ward? I don't know. Or we can go more than 299.5 passing yards. You know what? Georgia Tech is terrible. I'm going to go over 3.5 touchdowns for Cam Ward. Should we keep going or stop at 3? $25 to win 100. What do y'all think? Is that a winner? Y'all got to tell me if I'm right or wrong on that. 500 yards passing for Ward. It's possible. It's possible. Josh Heupel, 2 wins over Bama. Kirby Smart, 1 win over Bama. Yeah, but Josh Heupel wins over Kirby, 0. 0. I don't know why. Fans propping up another coach because their own coach is no good is weird. I'm not going to lie. That's really weird. Josh Heupel's 0-3 against Kirby and can't get a first down. They've never scored more than 2 touchdowns against Georgia. 0-3. It's weird that a Tennessee fan is trying to piggyback Bama because his team can't beat Georgia. That's fucking odd, dude. That's odd. Wow. down bad. Tennessee fans are down bad when they got to use Bama to prop themselves up because they can't use their own selves. That is something. That is really something. Y'all make sure y'all check out PrizePicks.com. Use the promo code Uncle Lou, and if you make any $5 play over there, whether you win or lose, they'll give you $50 for free, courtesy Uncle Lou. So if I were to do this same play I just made with five to win 20, but even if you lose, it doesn't matter. You make any $5 play, get signed up, PrizePicks.com. A lot of you live in Georgia like I do, and we can't use some of those other sites like DraftKings and all that. But you can use PrizePicks in Georgia. So y'all make sure you check them out. But for your first play, any $5 play, and win or lose, they're going to give you $50, courtesy of Uncle Lou. Yeah, just make sure you use that promo code. It's on the screen, Uncle Lou. One word, uppercase letters without any spaces, just Uncle Lou. They'll give you $50. Tell them Uncle Lou said good morning. Good morning. What else do we have to do here? Let's see. Oh, best bets. God. All right. Y'all got to help me again here. I'm serious. Y'all got to help me again. We got to find some bets here. Now, I'm not going to lie. The noon game, I like Miami. Now, hold on. Let me put this up too because where is it? All right, here we go. Now, don't forget my public service announcement that I make all the time, which is don't do parlays. Parlays are stupid. They're a waste of money. Don't do them. And yes, I'm down $6 for the week. Type about it. I don't care. I've made 25 bets this week and I'm down $6. That's almost like winning. So don't do parlays. With that being said, I woke up. I got up at 6 o'clock this morning for no reason. I don't know why. For no reason. I was fucking bored. I didn't have nothing to do. So guess what I did? 2 parlays for no reason at all. So here, I actually did make some parlays today. I've got Arizona State minus 2.5, Colorado minus 4.5, Clemson minus 6. And then I've got Iowa State minus 2.5, Miami minus 10, BYU minus 3. Now, the BYU line was 3.5. I bought it down to 3. So, I still think parlays are terrible. Okay? I still think parlays are terrible. But I'd be lying if I told you I didn't do 2 parlays today. So there you go. I'm a 5-star dummy. Okay? I'm a 5-star dummy. And I won't hit either one of those. So I won't hit either one of those. But try to find me something I can hit. So let's start with all right, let's do this. I want y'all to help. We're going to break this down between noon games, afternoon games, and primetime games. Okay? I want the absolute lock of the century when it comes to the noon games. They're all on the screen right here. All right? Is Ohio State really going to beat Purdue by more than 38 points? The spread is Ohio State's favored by 30. I don't like playing spreads that are that high. You just never know what's going to happen in the second half of these games. What if Ohio State's up by 35 in the fourth quarter and they put all the woozies in? They take the starters out and put the woozies in. And Purdue goes down and scores a garbage touchdown, and now Ohio State wins by 28. You lose the bet. I try to stay away from these huge lines. So I'm kind of crossing that one off. Now, Miami at Georgia Tech, I can be talked into taking Miami in that one. I could be talked into taking Miami there at minus 9.5. In fact, I love that at minus 9.5. Right under 10. Florida and Texas. Can I take the under? What about under 47.5? Florida can't score. What's Texas going to score, in the 30s? Maybe they win 35-10. That's less than 47.5. Minnesota at Rutgers, Syracuse at Boston College, West Virginia at Cincinnati. I could be talked into taking West Virginia +4 here. Maybe. Oh, God. All right, what's the best bet for the noon games? What's the absolute, we just looked at the noon games. What's the absolute best bet, lock of the millennium on the noon games? What is it? Give it to me. Tell me now. I'm looking at the chat. Tell me now. You have to. I want the absolute lock of the century. Syracuse rolls Boston College. Are we sure on that? Tech to cover. What? Rutgers money line? What? That would be a nice payday. Rutgers money line would be a nice payday. Ohio State money line, bet 100 to win 50 cents. Yeah, that's I'm not nearly dumb enough to do that. Take Miami. Jackpot says Miami. Nick D says Miami. Navy -4. Ohio State money line. Why in the fuck would anybody take the Ohio State money line? You can't win anything. It's literally like $100 to win $5. Oh, I'm not doing that. Miami to cover. Mississippi State to cover. We're talking about the noon games. Miami -4.5 in the second half. Easy money. Yeah, I talked about that earlier, and you know what? You're right. You're 100% right. Zero cap on that. Miami at 9.5. All right, I'm going to take Miami -9.5 because I hate myself. There we go. Miami -9.5. All right, noon games. What can y'all talk me into here? I mean, the afternoon games. Georgia at Ole Miss. Georgia favored by 1.5. I like Georgia in that one. Michigan at Indiana. Indiana favored by 14.5. I like Michigan to cover. Hey, look, listen. Look here. Look, listen. I like Michigan to cover. I like Iowa State -2.5 at Kansas. That might be the one. Iowa State lost last week. That's their only loss, though. And Kansas is 2-6. Come on, man. It's got to be Iowa State, doesn't it? It's got to be Iowa State. Do I even need to look anymore? It has to be Iowa State. It's got to be Iowa State -2.5. Right? Miami plays lots of close games. Miami's played 2 close games. By a lot, you mean 2. The rest of their games have been second half blowouts. It's got to be Iowa State. Right? Let's just look just in case. Could it be something else? You know what? I like Clemson too. Both of these teams, look, the bounce back rule. Iowa State and Clemson both shit on their own foot last week, so now they're not favored by enough. The bounce back rule. Clemson and Iowa State are having bounce back games today, aren't they? Iowa State and Clemson are covering. right? Clemson, no. God damn it. Are you sure? All right. Too many of y'all are against Clemson. So we're going to go with Iowa State. I gave Clemson a chance. And y'all didn't want to hear it. There's too many of y'all against them. So we're going to go Iowa State -2.5. Here we go. Iowa State -2.5. Y'all are killing me. Y'all are absolutely killing me. Okay, primetime games. Maryland and Oregon. Oregon's favored by 23. God, that's a lot of points. But if anybody can cover it, Oregon can. If I bet that one, I'd like Oregon. Mississippi State at Tennessee. I actually like over 61.5. Is that crazy? How dumb am I? I like over 61.5. Oh, it's Arizona State. It's Arizona State. Right? Central Florida at Arizona State. Arizona State favored by 2.5. Arizona State's sneaky good. They're 6-2. UCF is 4-5, 2-4 in the Big 12. Let's not overthink it. Let's not overthink it. Who have they played? I don't know, but they're both in the Big 12, so they played the same people, basically. What in the hell? Y'all are saying don't do Arizona State. Y'all are killing me. All right. If it's not Arizona State, what is it? I want to know. Those of you that are telling me don't take Arizona State -2.5 at home against Central Florida. Those of you that are telling me that, you're taking UCF? How about this? If anybody is serious, I'll bet you. So all those people that were just telling me, oh, UCF has a quarterback, Arizona State has a player hurt, take Central Florida then. Come on, man. Fuck. Sir UJ, you want Central Florida? How much are we betting? Zeus and Sir UGA, how much are we betting? $20. $25. Arizona's only good at cactus, not football. Yeah, we're not talking about Arizona. Hello? Hello? Is anyone home? We're not talking about Arizona. This would be like me talking about betting Georgia and you showing up and going, but Georgia Tech sucks. Yeah, I know. I know. Y'all just don't want me to make any money betting on these games. Y'all just don't want me to make no money betting on these games, man. I don't get it. Y'all don't want me to make no money betting on these games, man. Y'all, I don't know why y'all do me like this. UCF is a dangerous road team? They've won one road game all year. They're a dangerous road team. Yeah, they're so dangerous that they lost at Florida, lost at Iowa State. Oh, they did win way back in September, though, at TCU.
Dangerous road team. They're 1-2 on the road. Fucking dangerous. Super dangerous. If you think they're dangerous, you should see Florida State's road record. Florida State is winless on the road. Imagine how dangerous they are. Dummy.
Typing while being dumb is dangerous. Typing while being dumb. Dangerous. Y'all just don't want me to make no damn money. Y'all don't want me. They don't want me betting on these games. I don't think they want me betting on these games. Dummy. I'm taking Arizona State. I don't care how mad it makes you. I'm taking Arizona State. Get mad. Mad about it? Mad about it? Guess what? After the stream ends, I'll bet 10 more games. I don't give a fuck. All right, let's get serious. Yeah, let's get serious. $50 to win 41. Pay Lou. Pay me. That fucking camper dwelling gypsy can send me my fucking money. If I bet the Notre Dame Florida State game, it'll be a first half bet. Yeah, if I bet the Notre Dame Florida State game, it'll be a first half bet. Beck 2 interceptions, Gunner 1 interception. You know what? I'd be okay with that because that would mean they actually made a change at quarterback. Now, I'm not advocating to bench Carson Beck, let me be clear, but I do have him on a 2 interception limit. He throws 2 interceptions in the first half against Ole Miss. I expect to see Gunner or you or literally anybody else at quarterback on the next drive, not named Carson Beck. So anybody can fuck up once. He throws 2 interceptions in the first half, hook, gone, get out. Send somebody else in. Let me ask you this. If you're a Georgia fan, at this point, would you rather see Carson Beck throw his 3rd interception in the first? Let's say Carson Beck throws 2 interceptions in the first half. What would you rather see after that? Carson Beck throw his 3rd interception or Gunner Stockton throw his 1st interception? What would you rather see? I'd rather see Gunner throw his 1st one. Put the motherfucker out there. He's been there for 3 years. You recruited him and signed him for a reason. Didn't you? Now, that's all. I'm not getting it. That's it. I'm not going on the whole Carson Beck thing. So that's it for that. I've already said what I feel about that 15 times in the last week. That's what it is. So Carson Beck's going to play today. He's going to have a good game. He's not going to throw any interceptions, and Georgia's going to win because Ole Miss doesn't wear Alabama helmets. And that's all. That's it. That's all there is to it. That's it. I'm doing the rigged wheel and getting out of here. Y'all done made me mad. Y'all done made me mad. Not letting me bet on stuff. And then trolling me about it and telling me that Central Florida's a dangerous road team. So you done made me mad now. If you want to get on the rigged wheel, now's your last chance because I'm fixing to pull it up and do it. Oh, but don't forget to buy your Droovy Thank You shirt too if you want. It's up on the Uncle Lou store now. The Droovy Thank You. No trolling in that. So y'all asked. Uncle Lou delivered. There it is right there. There it is right there. Go ahead and get your Droovy Thank You shirt. Get them while the getting is good and make great Christmas gifts to yourself or a loved one. What else? Nothing else. Rigged wheel. That's what. Y'all done made me mad. I'll be back on at noon. Listen, when I come on at noon to watch the noon games, we're not talking about Carson Beck for 3 hours. I'm not doing that. So if you want to come watch the noon games at noon, come on down. This is The Price is Right, bitch. We'll play Plinko. I'm not talking about Carson Beck for 3 hours during the noon streams. So don't come in with the type on the Carson. I'm not doing that. I'm watching the noon games and talking about the noon games. If you want to do that, come hang out at noon. I'm not yelling about Carson Beck for 3 hours at noon. That's not happening. Here's the wheel. Now, let's see who's on it. I can tell you who's not on it. Carson fucking Beck. Not on the wheel. Not on the wheel. Let's see. We got Anthony Swift, Jackpot, and this better not be a damn... Sir UJ, this better not be a $10 bet on on a football game. What are you doing? This better be the wheel. Droovy Thank You. Yeah, Droovy Thank You on you and 2. All right. Oh, let me get my ugly ass off this thing. All right. Anthony Swift. Jackpot. And Sir UGA. All right, there's the first 3. There's the first 3. Let's see who's next. Once I add the names, that's it. So if you want to get on the wheel, you got to do it now. Because once I'm done adding the names, I'm going to look one more time, and then we're spinning the wheel. Y'all done made me mad with the Carson Beck slander. I'm not sitting around talking about Carson Beck all day. I'm not doing it. I don't care how mad it makes you. Makes me mad that you want me to do it. Trying to piss me off. It's not even 10:30 in the morning. Some of y'all got more nerve than you do sense. Well, that can piss me off. What am I doing? I don't know. Oh, now I know. Zeus is on the wheel. Zeus, is Central Florida a dangerous road team? Yes or no? Colby is on the wheel. Jay Shippus. Jay won last week. Congrats to Jay. Won himself some money last week from the rigged wheel. See? It is possible to beat the rigged wheel. It's just most of y'all don't know enough about football to be able to do it. But Jay does. Let's see. Jay Shine. Drunker, silly, slaw. Yeah. That looks right to me. That looks about right to me. Today? Yeah, what other day would it be? All right. We need a number between 3 and 5. Nick DTV. Give me a number between 3 and 5, buddy. Greg likes Alvin Jimmy for Heisman. Yeah, he should at least get an invite. That running back from Boise State, Alvin Jimmy. He should at least get an invite there. I mean, I think he should probably win it, but if they're going to do the whole, well, he's not in the Power 4, he should at least get invited. Nick says 4. All right, y'all know what that means. We're going to spin the wheel 4 times. The 4th name is the winner. Here we go. Good luck to everybody. I appreciate y'all tuning in this morning and helping to support the show. Hopefully somebody can win some money. Jackpot was the first name. We're looking for the 4th name, though. I have seen it land on the same name multiple times, though. So don't worry, Jackpot. You're still in it there, buddy. Colby. Yeah, Colby.
5-star dummy.
Yeah, Colby's getting married during playoff weekend. Spin number 3. Drunk or silly slaw. All right, here comes the last spin. Again, good luck to everyone. I appreciate y'all tuning in this morning. Thank you for helping to support the show. Hope y'all had a good time. I will be back on at noon to stream all the noon games. Anthony Swift. Yeah, now, I happen to know he's a Tennessee man. Congratulations, sir. You're a scoundrel and a gentleman. You probably vote Republican and pay your taxes, too. Let's see what team he wants. He says he'll take the Fighting Deion Sanderses in that. All right, let's get that wrote down in that. Yeah, let's get that wrote down in that. What am I doing? I had no damn idea. All right, rigged wheel. Anthony Swift. Notre Dame. All right, let's check the line. Notre Dame and garbage can. Where is it? Notre Dame versus a literal trash fire. Where is it? Notre Dame versus absolute garbage. 25. Notre Dame minus 25. All right. Let's get that wrote down in that. All right. Got you down. Good luck to your Vols today too, Anthony, although I don't think they will need it. I don't think they will need it against Mississippi State, which, of course, one of the worst teams on the planet. They're so bad they lost to Florida. Damn. Golly. Imagine being that bad. They're so bad they lost to Florida. Wow. Unbelievable. All right, I am going to get out of here. Check out PB Betting on Twitter. Check out PrizePicks.com. Get signed up on PrizePicks. Enter the promo code Uncle Lou, one word, uppercase letters, just like right up there. No spaces, Uncle Lou, prizepicks.com. Make any $5 play, and whether you win or lose, they're going to give you $50, courtesy of yours truly, Uncle Lou. And you can even do it in Georgia, which is great, because you can't use a lot of the other ones in Georgia, like DraftKings and everywhere else in that, too. But you can use PrizePicks. I do think Oregon probably covers. I just don't like, I don't like taking games where the spread is that high, but yeah, I do think Oregon covers. They look like the best team on the planet to me. So yeah, I do think they probably cover. I do think they probably cover. All right, I'll be back on at noon. We'll hang out and watch all the noon games. Good luck to everybody's team today, unless you're an Ole Miss fan, in which case, you know, you got to tote the giant L. But let's get real. If you're an Ole Miss fan, chances are you live in Mississippi. So your entire life has been a loss. Appreciate you tuning in. Have a good morning.